He asked me to come and sit on his lap. I went. He started stroking my cheeks. And then he started touching me in a way that I did not like. I went into depression. I started getting anxiety pangs, panic attacks. I was smoking almost 20 cigarettes a day. Was my life just going to be a soap opera? Would I just be a laughing stock? I couldn't allow that. Slowly, once again, I started rebuilding my life, and very soon, it's how well do you know yourself? How well do you nurture yourself? Are you aware of your emotions, dreams, and passions? And why am I asking you these questions? I am here before you today to tell you about the power of self-love, the transformative quality it has to turn your life around and propel you towards your highest potential. Relationships are great, but created on fragile foundations for the wrong reasons, they can be catastrophic. Believe me, there can be no relationship good enough for you unless you have a wholesome, fulfilled relationship with your own self. I, Sharmila Bhowmick, stand before you today to tell you about my life journey from a fragile, emotionally dependent young girl to an independent professional and a single mother today. Imagine a girl of 5, cheerful, chubby, happy, carefree. Believe me, life was all of those things until one fateful night when my dad returned home with his friend, our favorite uncle. He came and he started playing with me and lifted me up in the air, and I smiled and I giggled like any other little girl would. Soon it was dinner time and we were all in this room. And after dinner, I suddenly found myself alone with him in that room. He asked me to come and sit on his lap. I went. He started stroking my cheeks. And then he started touching me in a way that I did not like. I was beginning to feel ashamed. I was beginning to feel a rage inside me. But I kept quiet. I didn't say something, but I made a silent protest. He let me go. Soon it was time for him to leave. At the gate, the last look that he gave me was of malice and a wicked smile. I could not speak about that night to my father. And how would I? He was a distant man. He was not the sort that you go to a park to play with. I tried telling about it to my mother, but she brushed it aside. The uncle was a trusted friend. So, I repressed all of that. I kept all the hurt inside me, and I started living with it. And a self-hatred started brewing in me from that fragile age. What I did not understand, however, was that a single incident was going to spill over and reflect in every other decision that I would take in my life. To add to all of this, from age 17, I had to fund my own education. For me, completing my education was a dream. Going through all of these personal struggles, at age 22, I got married. It was at the same time when I entered the big, bold world of Indian media. Suddenly, life changed. I found my purpose and passion at the same place. I started doing well. My name started rolling out. But then, life was about to throw a curveball at me. My home life, which was then stable, completely fell apart. My partner, who was already doing well in his job, suddenly started finding faults. This wasn't right. That wasn't right. I was not doing the right things. I was not saying the right things. And one fine day, I myself became a problem. So one day, he just decided to abandon me, desert me, and he was gone. 14 years of a relationship tossed in a blink. What would I do? I had nowhere to go to. I couldn't speak about this to my parents. What will people say? I had no plan B. Kolkata The city where I was born and where I was raised and where I was working suddenly seemed alien. I just wanted to hide, to run away. I couldn't face the people I had known for so long. What would I do now? I started applying for jobs outside. So as soon as I heard from someone in Delhi, I packed my bags, filled it with my books and clothes, and took the first Rajdhani out of the city. That is how I came to Delhi 15 years ago. I started rebuilding my life from scratch. Day by day, hard work upon hard work, I started creating a whole new world, a whole new identity, a whole new life. Slowly, after some time, because we love company, we are social animals, I met someone again. And very soon, we decided to tie the knot. And soon after, I was a mom. Now, I had a home to manage, a girl to raise, and of course, work. Because of my previous failure, I was working harder on this relationship. I was working harder at work as well. I was spreading myself out thin. But very soon enough, and you may have guessed it, I was not good enough. Home life became a nightmare. To add to this, the channel for which I had worked for over 8 years decided to downsize, and I was laid off. Now, I was even more worthless because I didn't have an income. I was a young mother with a not-so-happy home life, and I had work stress. My usual rock-solid resilience cracked completely at this time. I crashed. I went into depression. I started getting anxiety pangs, panic attacks. I was smoking almost 20 cigarettes a day. I did not know how to cope. All my dreams shattered right there in front of me. It is also at this point that I decided to turn my life around. When you hit the wall, the only way you can go is forward. What exactly was I doing? Was I just running from one situation to another situation? Was my life just going to be a soap opera? Would I just be a laughing stock? I couldn't allow that to myself. I decided to take responsibility and become a sparkling example to my little girl of being a confident, independent mother, happy and joyous. I completely changed my life from then onwards. I stepped out of this relationship. I quit smoking. I took up hobbies that were healing for me. I went into healing practices, took up pottery, started reading more, traveling more. I decided to give my health a chance, my art a chance, my writing a chance. Slowly, once again, I started rebuilding my life, and very soon, it started showing results. I repaired my relationship with my parents by completely reparenting myself. Just like a loving parent would take a child out to a park or to an ice cream parlor, I started doing the same things to me. I started being kind to myself, to listening to my heart. What exactly did I want? What did I exactly need? I became kind and patient with myself. You must have heard of this Japanese art called kintsugi, where the potters mend broken pieces with gold dust. That is exactly how I started repairing my life. I identified all the gaps and the cracks, and I started filling them up with self-love. Bit by bit, I became complete and whole again. I was looking happier again, calmer again. I could see what I wanted. My writing life took off. I wrote a book. My happiness started spilling over to my little girl. She started doing better in school now, was happy, joyous. There's no better gift that you can give a child than being a happy mother yourself. This is my journey of self-love. Had I not taken this responsibility to completely and independently take charge of my life, where would I be today? Would I be standing before you and telling you about my life story? No. Until I started stepping out of my victimhood and turning my life into a victorious story, nothing would have worked for me. This is the message that I have to give today. Self-love is never an easy job, but remember, you cannot pour from an empty glass. If you do not love yourself, how will anyone else do the same for you? Never ever feel worthless. Never ever abandon yourself. It is you and only you who can take charge of your life and turn it around. If I could do it, you can do the same. If I could do it, so many of you can do it as well. Give yourself a chance. Take your own responsibility in your own hands. Love yourself. This is what I have come to speak to you about today. Remember, if everyone leaves the room today and you are left alone, the only person beside you is going to be you. There is no bigger love than self-love. Thank you.
Tell us what you think about this video and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.